Hello world! Here I will be showing a speed painting of a cover image for my game that I'm making entirely on my own. There is also my commentary throughout all the video, so let's start. The first program I'm using is Make Human. It creates human models that can be customized and animated. It's open source, very nice software. Once models are exported, I import them into Blender, a beautiful 3D modeling open source program and completely free, as Make Human is also. I wish I was paid to do all this advertisement, but unfortunately I'm not. It's just software that I'm in love with. The final cover image will not be 3D models we see here. Models are just used as reference. I will paint over them in yet another program. Hope you don't mind virtual nudity, its art and beauty of the human body, which I think is always interesting in whatever shape, form it is. Let's be proud of our beautiful selves. Every now and then, the camera view moves into a rectangle, surrounded by semi-transparent gray. The rectangle delineates the shot I will use for the final image. There can be noticed a pair of eyes floating around as the camera moves. It is because imported models have eyeballs that are separated 3D mesh, so when models moved, the eyeballs remained in mid-air. It's funny, floating eyeballs. Male and female model have different poses for variety's sake. The ground on which they are standing will be a curved hill, so the horizon, so to speak, is curved. I just found it more interesting than a flat line, and again it is anime cartoons influence. Main characters are male and female, even though initially there was only a male character, but then I thought that half Earth are girls, so it's half audience. Some enemy ninja models are duplicated and just flipped around to save time. Without overdoing it, the repetition is not noticeable. Every now and then I go online to watch reference images for the poses the characters are in. Also, I observe my own body in certain poses I want to reproduce. While creating enemy poses, I wanted to convey movement, of course, speed, intention, aggressiveness. For the two latter, for example, I make the upper body lean forward. I'm pretty satisfied with how the poses turned out to be, even though they are maybe a little too stiff. A more loose movement would be more attractive, but no, it's okay. Perfectionism is a disease and I definitely have it. One ninja is airborne, perhaps with a ninja fart. There are gonna be a lot of toilet humor jokes on this channel. If you like those, you are definitely in the right place. Before the final rendering of the image, I created another light source that has a direction from ground up. This light emulates the reflection of the sun on Earth's surface. Finished rendered image is exported in the program by the name of Inkscape, some more free advertisement. It's a vector drawing software, open source, free. Are you beginning to pick up a pattern here? The rendered image is placed on the most bottom layer, then successive layers are made partially transparent and drawn upon. Eventually, the entire rendered image will be covered and not visible. To draw the outfit on the player characters, I again went online to look in which way ninja outfits are made, but kinda gave up on that and just went on drawing from what I have in my memory. Have been drawing ninjas actually since I was a child. Once I even traded those drawings for stuff that I wanted. Also was studying ninja outfit while was making in-game characters recently, so I'm able to manage. One basic idea behind this drawing is for it to be simple, basic. I'm of a viewpoint that art to look professional does not have to be complex, does not need to have many details. That being said, there are rules that need to be followed so the artwork, while low detail, looks professional. The arrangement of various elements of the artwork need to be harmonious, let's say. The composition needs to be proper. Going a little too technical maybe. Most mainstream games and movies I see these days are plagued by too much detail for their own sake. I cannot afford myself too much detail, so I'm on the safe side regarding that. I do low detail to save time and finish work faster, and sell it as a style, which I think is legitimate, not a deception. I love many games that are created in this vein. Another World is one classical example. Back to drawing process. There is always fear involved in the creative process, for me at least. Here, as I am drawing the outfit and I wonder, will I be able to do it? Will it look convincing? And that fear makes me accelerate and get more stressed. And in the long run, I do less because of it. So trying to stay calm while drawing is also a challenge. Enter the plants here. I spend so much time to do a simple bamboo stick with lighter colored lines. Seems like a dumb thing, and it is, but some basic things can be surprisingly difficult in a vector kind of drawing. Also, I'm learning stuff here as I go along. I'm no expert in any of these software, just not beginner. When I'm at the beginning of creating a drawing, I'm fearful of the unknown, so that makes me work less. And then when the drawing is almost finished, I'm usually pleased with it, so euphoria kicks in and again makes me nervous and work less. I guess with time and practice and work, I will just die inside and feel nothing, so be unaffected by feelings. Just kidding. But yes, maybe with time and working hours, fear and euphoria will kinda diminish, and one gets into a steady, constant moving state. Sharp like a razor, steady as a train, as Juno says in the movie Walk the Line. That's what consistency and focus does in time. For the hills, I'm adding these circles on the crest of the hill to mimic trees. It looks like a nice touch. In creating background landscape, I'm using a so-called sfumato technique. Big words for saying the more further away something is, the paler it becomes. This is because of the particles of dust and water in the air, so distant things become whitish. This sfumato trick creates an excellent depth effect. It is used in so many games. Well, bamboo trees are created, and I'm making here a first attempt into deploying them onto the drawing. This will not actually be the final version of these trees on the right side. I will delete them, even though they look better than the final version of the trees will. I don't remember why I did not stuck with this version. Always while drawing something, I just don't know what results I will get. It was a surprise to me to discover that creative process is vision and accident. Actually just like life. I imported a Ninja Star that I had in my portfolio for years now, but I did not like the gradients in it, so decided to recreate the star from scratch. The color of the sky, blue, on top and pinkish gradient is an accident, just decided to leave it that way. With the Ninja Star done, the drawing is half finished, it is time to tune things tighter, start introducing details slowly, create shadows. I realize I wander off here a lot, but there is time where there is not much to say about the drawing, so I deter and wander off into neurological back alleys. I'm doing the shadows partially from memory and partially by watching the shadows on the 3D model imported image. Often to do shadows, I just duplicate the surface I want to put the shadow on, then make that new surface of a more dark tone to make it like shadow, and then subtract excess surface so lighter surface underneath is revealed. Damn, how complicated it sounds explained in words. Decided to make shadows using just one darker tone, no gradients, which would be more realistic, but also way more time consuming. Probably someday we'll get there, like realistic shadows, For now, this is it. It is surprisingly difficult to talk so much about a drawing, at least for me, for now. The trick seems to be just blab, whatever comes first in my mind. That is something I'm not used to. I have a habit of overthinking before saying something and then usually saying nothing at all. But I'm here to learn new things. This is one of my first drawings of like trying to get right female anatomy. No wait, what am I saying? This is a software generated anatomy. For some reason or other, all my life almost never did draw female anatomy. Guess I'm interested in male heroes. Not in a homosexual way, I think. Not that would be anything wrong with that. Long live homosexuality. While we are at it, well, I can create the whole male human figure. I have done it with satisfactory result. You know, like first bones, then muscles, then clothes, and all that. It is a long process, and the old me would say the only right way. But these days I think the important thing is the result anyway. We could go on and do our toilet things in the fields, in nature, like we did 100 years ago, which is legit and a nice thing to do now and then, but today there are easier ways. The shadows on the incoming enemy ninjas are simplified compared to players' characters in the front. This is, I think, for two reasons. One, there is no need for more details. These figures are supposed to be further away, so naturally, less detail is visible. Reason number two, main characters in the front have a certain amount of detail, and having characters that are further away in the imaginary created 3D space would look ugly, simply put. It would look like a style dissonance, would not go together, like mustard and candy. The farthest away ninjas have just a few shadow spots. Every now and then I export the drawing I have made until that point and see it in full screen. It is the most important thing to do. That way I see what is good and what needs fixing. Seeing the whole image is a moment when I can be aware of interaction between different elements of the drawing. Is the sky too dark compared to the ground? Is the background too light compared to the front characters and stuff like that? And again enter the plants, the return of vegetation, starring bamboo, and that's it. Basic bamboo color is a darker green. Then I take some leaves and make them lighter green, in a way to imitate sun illuminating certain parts of the tree. Here the brighter green is fluorescent, which I don't want or like. It's just that I did not know better at this point. Later on I will discover saturation and what it does. A shockingly basic knowledge that I'm clueless about, but hey, we learn all life and die fools. That's how life works. At this stage I'm pretty much deciding the final colors and shapes of the drawing, fixing the colors so they are not fluorescent, not too light or dark. Doing that process currently with background hills, and deciding to add another hill layer because it looks nicer. I'm also making the far background mountain rounder, not so sharp. While the sky color was an accident, there was a transparency in it, and that was not good for the final result, so did some experimenting to get the color right. Adding plants behind the left player, and these ones do not need to have lighter leaves. Because of their position, sun does not hit the leaves to make them lighter, so less work for me. Now giving color to incoming enemy ninjas. Did you expect that? Well, if you've been following my previous videos you could, because that is the way they are in the game. How to decide which ninja to make of which color. I tried to do a balancing thing. It would be strange to have all colored ninjas on one side and all black ones on the other. The persons watching would ask themselves why. When mixing ninja colors in a balanced way, things look more natural, homogenic. Oh, I like this red blood color. Maybe it's called Chinese red, I'm not sure. Also went online to look if the sky opposite to the setting sun can have at all the kind of gradient I'm using. It seems it can, so everything is okay. I think always when drawing the best thing is to start from reality. That gives quality to a drawing. Again, doing the lighter leaves, darker tree thing and putting trees further away, behind main male character. Also making the trees smaller, so to reinforce the illusion of depth. This time, even though I'm putting trees on the left side of the drawing, I'm making them have brighter leaves parts, because they are like further away, where the bamboo forest is more thin, so the sun does make it to illuminate the leaves. At least that is how I explain it to myself. I moved the faraway mountain more down. By doing so, it looks further away, blends in better with the rest of the terrain, looks more natural, maybe. By moving the mountain, had to change also the color of a yellow ninja, because now his background was too bright and he was insufficiently visible, so I made him darker yellow. Decided to make a gradient on the terrain to make it go from darker down to lighter up. It is not so noticeable, a subtle difference, but I think it is better than solid color. To distinguish two main characters from the rest of the drawing, decided to draw a black contour line around them. And voila! Finished. Finally. I'm happy for how the drawing turned out to be. Was so worried I would not be able to do it. And now to me it's perfectly fine. Always the same process I go through. The only thing for the next time, maybe make enemy ninjas poses more extreme, like more exaggerated. That's it. I would like to thank you for all your likes, for all the support on Patreon. You are making this interaction possible by doing so. Subscribe for more and see you in the next video.